You are now listening to the Electric Dreamz Podcast.
Oh, I know that you'll be fine. I was checking this girl next door when her parents went out. She phoned say hey.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Electric Dreamz Podcast. I'm your host, SUGA BROWN. My guest this week is Nick. He's the co-founder of Feed. It's like an automated social media marketing strategy. So basically what you do is you connect your Instagram, your Facebook, and what they do, they market your posts for you. So for me, this is so important because it saves so much time doing this. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm terrible at marketing, like social media marketing. It's just one of my weakness. I don't really know how to target. You know, I've done it in the past and done my research, but I don't see any genuine results. But with Feed, it was amazing. It was so, stress free. All you do is just like swipe over and you just kind of let them know what posts you want to be promoted and advertised, and then they'll take it over the rest. So it was great to have Nick on just to talk more about Feed. For me, I thought it was important to get the face of Feed out there for you guys so you can actually see and meet one of the co-founders. And for me, it's just important to see that, especially if you're investing a lot of money into a platform. It's really great to actually know the person that actually is behind the company. So hopefully you guys like the podcast, and here it is. Hey Nick, what's going on?
It's good, man. It's good but busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certainly eventful.
And recently, you guys, you've just been super hammed. Like, are you guys getting new clientele, or like, what's the most like clients you're getting from Feed? Is it from like, the U.S. or is it from Europe?
It's really interesting. We're sort of attracting lots of people without much marketing, which is quite nice. So a lot of our clients come from referrals. That's how a lot of musicians and artists find us. About 40% of our users are from referrals, and mainly focused in the UK, but the US is increasingly a big market. I think musicians are in the US in particular, really entrepreneurial about their music, and so I think, hoping we'll get have a good presence there as well in terms of artists.
That's good. So give us a little bit about yourself and your background in the music industry.
So I founded Feed with my co-founder Joshua at the end of 2018. Weirdly enough, it evolved out of a record label. Our backgrounds are we both started off as musicians, and then Josh went into record labels and headed up kind of digital at big independent labels here in the UK, Transgressive and Warp. I went a slightly circuitous route, and for a musician, ended up going into finance for a few years. Gone out of finance after a few years, and went back into music, worked for kind of music managers, project management. And so between us, we've done a lot of marketing campaigns, and we just saw a gap for a product like Feed. We thought nothing like it exists really, and we wanted to build something that could help the millions of independent musicians and artists out there.
And I think people appreciate that. Like for me, I appreciate that because it defeats the time to learn about analytics and all that stuff. And it's just, for me, I think what's so great about Feed is like it gives you time to focus on other things you want to focus on, like music and stuff.
Right, exactly. I mean, for the benefit of people who don't know, Feed is an automated digital marketing platform. Currently, first platform integrated with Facebook and Instagram. So what it does, if you sign up, it will automate your whole process of running ads over Facebook and Instagram. It'll optimize them. You don't have to do much. It kind of runs in the background. And as you know, musicians they have a million things to do. They've got to worry about the music and then all this other stuff like releasing music and gigging and managing their business, all those sorts of things. They might not have a huge budget. They might not be marketing experts. They probably don't have a massive team either. So we wanted to build a platform that could work for people who faced all those constraints, but are still posting this amazing content. What Feed will do is it will take all of these posts that you're putting out there, and it will work out which of them work best as ads to different audiences. So you don't have to worry about any of the digital marketing stuff. You can focus on the stuff you want to focus on.
And I believe it relieves stress as well too. Like, so now you don't. It's get feed, guys. It's stress free.
Not for
You know.
me.
I know for you guys, but.
For me.
And then, how did you guys come up with feed originally? Was it Josh? Did Josh pitch it to you guys when you guys were working together, or like, did you come up with the main idea? What?
It was a collaborative approach, and actually we spoke to a bunch of independent artists in London and the UK actually, and the two biggest problems that came out of one, funding, and two, marketing. How do I build an audience? How can I find the people who love what I do? And we thought that, given our backgrounds, Josh is also a developer, and we've got other developers on the team now as well. We thought we could build something that would really help with the marketing side. We have a few ideas about the funding product for down the line, but we had a bunch of different product ideas basically, and I think a lot of the others, there maybe wasn't quite the need for them, and there was already something that kind of existed. So, Feed, we really saw a gap. There are loads of digital marketing tools aimed at companies and professional marketers, but hardly any aimed at grassroots musicians and creators. So we kind of, over the course of 6 months, evolved the idea and started building it in the summer of 2019, so just over a year ago now.
Oh wow! So when you build it, was it just you and Josh in the beginning? Like, who's on the team of Feed?
We've got a team of 4.5 now, I'd say.
4.5.
It's me and Josh. Yeah, it's me and Josh, and then Andy and Ben are our two developers, so they're helping on the kind of algorithms that go into Feed and what it looks like and the look and feel of the platform. And then we've got Olivia, who is a kind of part-time marketing consultant, helping us kind of get it out there, I suppose.
Oh wow! So it's fairly small. And how do you like working with a small team?
Yeah, I like it. It means you can be very agile. It lets us respond very quickly to feedback we're getting in real time from musicians using the platform. So, we don't have this huge platform, this massive team, and we don't have all this kind of technical debt. We can be quite agile and respond quite quickly. I would like a few more people to help out at some point. It's good. It's good to have a small team. It's really easy to maintain the kind of company ethos and our values and everything like that. I think we'll be hoping to grow in the future.
Yeah. So you could brush off other things to other people and stuff, right? Because it could be overwhelming. Do you feel overwhelmed like currently with the whole project?
Occasionally. I mean, we're busy at the moment because we're launching a crowdfunding this month. So we've got a lot going on. We're trying to market ourselves and improve the platform, and we don't have any. We do everything. The founders, we do customer support, product development, and fundraising, all that stuff. So yeah, it can be stressful. We're sort of going through a period of growth where we hope to get to a point where we can hire more people to help out and it becomes more of a stable thing. But I guess it's part of the package when you set up your own sort of music tech business.
No, I understand that. Sometimes it could be frustrating. Sometimes when you wish you could do more, and like at least more that you'd love to do. And then right now we have Tori and stuff, so it's her and I working together. But I can understand if you had that extra hand, if you had somebody that had social media marketing, and you just be like, okay, you handle that, I can handle music and stuff. But I feel like the feeling of it currently, even though it's stress, you still love it because it's your baby. It's you're seeing it grow in a way.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I love the fact that we're in control, and it feels like we've built something that we're coming up to kind of 500 people on board. So we've built something that a lot of people already are finding useful, and that in and of itself is great. And there's definitely every week you probably have 6 highs and 4 crushing lows, and you just hope the highs outnumber the lows. That's all.
Those are the fun parts when you can talk about within 5 or 10 years, you guys could be drinking champagne in the marina and be talking about this. All right. As an artist, what can you get the most out of Feed?
When can you get the most out of Feed?
How can you get the most out of Feed?
So feed is really meant to pick up on what you're already doing. So it's meant to kind of slot in with what you're already doing. You don't have to do this whole other thing called digital marketing. You can give it a budget and let it run, and that's as simple as that. So it works best when people are quite active and they're posting thoughtful, engaging content, they're releasing music, they're gigging. And we write on we have a blog and we write quite a lot about what we see that really works in terms of engaging people, what kind of content musicians can post. And it's always, spoiler, it's kind of very natural content built in your own voice, like behind the scenes rehearsal, like nerdy content about your synths, whatever it is. Stuff like that works really well. So I think feed works really well alongside people who are, you can tell they're posting about what they love doing, making music, gigging, releasing music, and they're not trying to be someone else. It feels quite natural. So and I think you also have to have an element of being entrepreneurial about your music and willing to invest in it. We design feed to work with low budgets because most musicians don't have massive budgets. So it'll work with just from a couple of dollars a day, and you can add on and off whenever. But you still have to be willing to put that investment in, hope to get the kind of rewards out the other side.
Yeah, I mean, it does cost everything costs something. There's no, especially Instagram, there's no free organic reach anymore. Like, what do you see the most what do you see the most common that artists make the mistakes on social media marketing?
I think, going back to my point before, some of them are understandable, right? If you're using Ads Manager and Facebook Ads Manager, and you don't really know what you're doing, it's going to be hard for you to get the most out of it. It's really time consuming. It's overly complicated. But that's not really people's fault. I would say it's when people create ads that look like ads and it looks like marketing. Like, my album's out now. And you promote that to an audience of people who haven't heard about you before. So not a retargeted audience, but let's say it could be a lookalike audience of people who have similar interests to existing fans, but they haven't heard of you before, basically. If the first thing they see from you is like, a picture of the album artwork with album out now, it's not really a good way of getting them hooked and getting them engaged. Whereas if they see, a cool video of you rehearsing or making music, or it's just you going about your daily life, that's the stuff that gets people engaged, especially audiences of new people the first time around. We again, on the blog, we did some work into the stats behind this, and posts that look like salesy or marketing do 50% worse. I think that's a figure, 50% worse than posts that don't. So I guess it's the easiest trap to fall into is thinking you have to market yourself in a different way than you just talk to your followers every day. I think the two things should be the same.
So it's just being natural, being who you are, and not trying to push something that's unorganic in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that, like, especially when it comes to my posts, I notice if I do like a production post, it does way better than something that I did a photo shoot or something like that, because it's like
Completely.
because it's like the people always see that shit. They can always go to their feed and just see cookie cutter models, bodybuilders or whatever, or like even the celebrities that had that perfectness of it. Do you sense, like, do you personally, would you rather pick a post that's more natural to somebody or something that's perfect? Like let's say, like, your favorite artist, let's say the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You just love, what they did behind the scenes, or would you rather have them display some musical content, but it's like perfect? It's like a music video.
I mean, it depends, but generally speaking, I'd say, why do you follow a musician on social media? You follow them to get the closest thing you can get to a relationship with that person. So yes, I love their music. Also, I'm really interested in the person they are, what they're doing, how they work, how their process, through writing music and recording it, all that stuff, how that works. So anything that feels like that insider insight, that isn't the really shiny, perfect post, is more the everyday post that makes me feel like, okay, this person, I'm getting some insight from them that isn't just them kind of telling me to stream their music, but actually it's helping me understand them as a musician more and their personality a bit more. I'd go for that every day of the week, personally.
Yeah, because it feels like you're kind of getting closer to the artist. That some of them feel like they're untangible, but now with these platforms like Twitter, you can actually reach out to these artists that before 20 years ago you couldn't ever be like, oh, hello, how you been?
Yeah, exactly. Different artists have different approaches, and I would never be prescriptive when I say you should be posting once every 2 days and it should be all this stuff. Do what feels natural to you. But yeah, I think social media is called social media for a reason, and people are fascinated by the process and personal lives of the musicians they follow.
So let's think about it. So let's give it like a year ago with the whole social media now. What has 2020 changed when it came to social media marketing? And what do you think will happen in the future when it comes to social media?
Well, I guess the big one is COVID.
Yeah.
So, people are having to think about digital advertising and social media marketing and building that audience online, because it's really, at the moment, it's the only way to find people. So I suppose people are increasingly aware of it. In my view, what I'd love to see, and what our whole ethos at Feed is, we'd love to see individual artists, creators who don't necessarily have a huge team, who aren't signed by a major label. We'd like to see more and more of those people learning and discovering what social media advertising could do for them, and hopefully, through tools like Feed, having platforms that let them make the most of it. I think if you talk to people 5 years ago about advertising on social media, a lot of people would be maybe a bit hesitant. But I think now people understand how powerful it is. How there are billions of people on social media. It's just, you have to find the right way of accessing those people, and it's becoming part of every artist campaign. There's lots of people who view it as a necessary evil, I think, rather than being fully enthusiastic about it, which I totally get and understand that. But I think it's major labels have used social advertising for a long time to great effect, and I think it's coming down now, and independent artists have more power to reach people who like what they do without having to have a label or a big team on board, or spend a huge amount of money.
No, I'm excited because I feel like this is the year of, like what you said, independency. Like independent artists are able to pump out music. You can see in TikTok, these guys that have no record, no 360 deal. They're out making TikTok songs, and they're blowing up. They're blowing up crazy, and they're making millions of dollars from it and stuff. Is that in the near future? Do you want to isolate the biggest, all the big companies and have them just come towards you and be like, why would I spend $1,000 when I can just go to Feed and invest half of that?
Well, if I understood your question correctly, I think people always make their own decisions about whether they want to continue independent or whether they want to sign to a big label, and neither's right, neither's wrong. What we're hoping with Feed is that people have, I think artists often, and I've written about this on the blog again, artists feel like they're in a marketing catch-22, right? So I need a team, like a manager and a label, to grow my audience and a following. But before the manager and the label will take notice, they need to see there's an audience there already. And it's like, what? Well, how does that work? And it's stuck in the middle of this catch-22. And I'd love to see more and more artists being able to get to the point where labels and managers are taking notice, and then they can decide, okay, I'm going to go it alone. I like being independent. Or actually, it'd be nice to have a team on board. I'm going to sign to the right label, get a manager on board, whatever it is. So, in terms of what we hope, I guess we hope Feed can just shift power a bit more back towards the artists. And, I think there'll always be a place for record labels and managers, but, the artists should hopefully have more of a choice about how they can get to the point where they're making a living from what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, especially now, I mean, there's the whole, technology is amazing. You can release music without even having, the permission to it. So, I think it's a great idea with whole feed, and that it gives you the allowance of, like, what I mean, like you can, invest into it, and you don't have to worry so much about, knowing the knowledge of it and stuff. So, I love it. I love Feed. You guys, you gotta go check it out. It's amazing. I saw that you guys are doing a crowdfunding. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so basically it means we open up a funding round. So we're raising money basically from marketing, so we can reach more and more musicians, and also it gives us a bit of funding to help develop the product. But instead of going down the typical route a company like us might go down, which would be venture capital or private equity, a kind of financial firm, we are opening up investment to anyone basically can invest anything from £10 to become a shareholder in the company. And yes, we're obviously doing it because we need the money for our business plan and all that stuff, but actually it ties in really well with our, I guess, our ethos that, we built this platform for creators, and wouldn't it be great if it could be owned by the creators as well, and helping people feel invested in it. And we'd love to be able to grow that way. People using Feed can also own a share of Feed. They'll be more incentivized to become advocates of it, and hopefully this is a way of getting trust as well with musicians and creators, because where our funding is coming from, and it's we're fundraising from the very people we're providing the service to. So yeah, it's launching hopefully towards the middle end of September on a platform called Crowdcube, which is mainly a European platform. I think I'm not sure if you can invest if you're in the US. I need to check that, but
Okay.
but yeah, so launching soon.
No, but I think it's good. I mean, it's like what you said, like the people that are using the platform investing in it itself, because it's like for me that speaks so much true about platform itself. If even the own people that are paying for it, they're investing even more because they trust about it. It just brings value to them, and I think Fee brings value so much. It's helped my team so far, like Tori and I not worrying so much about analytics and just like the whole Google ad, Facebook ads and all that stuff. So how can people sign up, and is there a fee?
So people can head to our landing page, which is try.feed.co, and you can sign up from there. You can read a bit more about the platform. You can also email us direct. We're team@tryfeed.co. Happy to talk with anyone who's interested. At the moment, we're offering the beta version of Feed without our service fee, because effectively, we're asking for feedback on it, and it's still in beta. So in exchange for that, with the service fee is 0%. So any budget you get to Feed, 100% of it gets spent on your ads. And that will be the case for the next couple of months, probably. So yeah, we'd love to have people sign up and try it out. The more the merrier.
No, for sure. Like, what's a minimum amount that you suggest for people to invest in a post?
Well, so the way Feed works is you give it a daily budget, which is across all of your posts each day. So let's say I give it $5 a day. I'm spending $5 every day, and Feed within that, Feed is allocating that to posts at work. It's trying out new posts, but overall, I'm spending $5 a day. We recommend people start at $4 a day, I think it is in the US, and run that for a few weeks. So Feed is designed to work for what we've seen is best in terms of growing an audience, is spreading out spend little and often. So $4 a day rather than blowing it all in the week after a release, for example. So Feed can try out more posts. And yeah, the reason it's $4 a day is that lets us reach two groups of people broadly. So audiences of new people who haven't heard of you before, but are likely to engage with your music based on their interests and what they look like for their demographics. And then importantly, there's also a retargeting audience in there. So that lets you get in front of people who've engaged with, maybe liked an ad or a post but haven't followed you yet. So you can retarget those people. And over time, you turn them to followers and fans. And it's also a great way, that retargeting was re-engaging existing followers, because as you said, organic reach at the moment is not very good. So $4 a day, let's do that. And after about 3 weeks of running feed, you'll start to see the kind of long-term results you might be able to expect. But yeah, it's you can switch ads on and off whenever. Everyone's different. So some people want to use it for a week. Some people have left it on for, like our first users, some of them have left it on for 10 months and they've just given it a budget and they've let it run. It's meant to be pretty flexible depending on what you need to do.
What can artists do beyond that? So, for instance, they turn on a post. Can they? Well, actually, you can't as an artist. You can't, because it's an ad. It's separate from your profile, right?
Yeah.
So, I was thinking, like, is there a way that artists can help out when it comes to, like, kind of like talking on the post? Like, for instance, they're interacting with other people on that post. Is there any way they can do that?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's again, I've written about this on the blog. God, I've said that too much, haven't I? Did you know we write a blog?
No. Yeah, no. What's the name of the blog?
It's just called the Feed blog, but it's
The Feed blog.
blog.try.feed.co.
Okay.
But yeah, interacting with people, conversations, I think, are hugely important. You can do that on an ad or a post. So replying to comments, inviting people to hear their thoughts, keeping a conversation going is really important, rather than just posting stuff and not replying or talking about it, or just sort of like thinking, okay, I've got to post this stuff and it's just one-way traffic. People love it when we can engage with them on a level. That's why people like, Instagram story polls and, kind of other interactive bits and pieces like that, and comment threads. Yeah, it's all really important. All that interaction is hugely valuable.
Okay. And lastly, what is the most valuable lesson you learned from running feed?
It's a good question. So I think for me personally, it's probably how important it is and how difficult it is to get across your vision, your ethos, and build trust. As you know, there's a lot of crap music marketing, very shady music marketing tools out there, and we're a new company. People don't really know about us, so trying to get across the fact that we're on the side of artists and we're kind of friendly, hopefully friendly people who are genuine and trying to build something that will work for all the artists out there. My co-founder Joshua is quite good at this in terms of thinking about how you present yourself and how the kind of brand and your personalities run through the business. But for me, it's been a real learning curve, communicating that and getting that across. And as you grow, it becomes, your name gets known a bit more, it becomes a bit easier. But for me, that's been, aside from the technical stuff about tech and things like that, that's been a huge learning curve. I think the importance of branding and marketing and speaking in the voice you want to speak in, all that sort of thing.
No, definitely, because like people want the front face of feed, like whether it be you or Josh or the other teammates and stuff. I've noticed that with everything in a way, with music, branding is so important when it comes to just the product itself. I've learned that when it comes to myself with SUGA BROWN, just being, the style of the name, the music, does it all blend well together and stuff. And for me, with feed, I think it's even better when you can have front face like yourself, Nick, and being able to, talk about feed and stuff. And I'm gonna check out the blog. I'm excited. I'm excited to check out. I feel like I'm gonna learn so much about it. And with the blog, do you guys keep it updated, or do you guys do you have like a community blog, or is it just you and yourself, you and Josh?
Yeah, it's just us at the moment, and we post fairly regularly on it, probably once every 1 or 2 weeks. About to do a case study of an LA-based musician and producer actually later this week, but we post about our thoughts about music and marketing and music in terms of thinking about your music as a business and how you invest in yourself and the budget you set and different types of marketing and thinking encouraging more and more independent artists, I guess, to be entrepreneurial and think about their work as a business. Because yes, you've got the creative element, but we'd love for more and more people to make a living from what they do. And I think in order to do that, you do have to think about yourself as this micro business to start off with, and how you grow yourself and nurture that and get the word out there. So yeah, it's got all that stuff on it. Feel free to go and read.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm going to check it out tonight. So thank you, Nick, for jumping on the podcast. I really appreciate you just breaking down Feed. I know Tori, she was talking about it. I was like, okay, well, let's try it out. And from there, it's just been such a unstressful time. I know it's brought more stress for you, but I would appreciate you taking over the stress for myself. And yeah, go check out Feed, guys. It's just, there's no fee for it, which is like a good, most people take at least 10-15%.
Yeah, well, it was important to us that it should be a service fee. So it's between 5 and 10% when we do start charging for it, depending on how much you're spending. And most other services will be a subscription. So you'd have to pay like $50 to $100 per month before you ever spend anything on ads even. So it was important to us that it's a service fee on the amount you spend through Feed. If you're not spending, there's no service fee. But when you are using the platform, then there is a kind of small charge for it.
Okay, great. And then, do you have any new updates that you can give us on the podcast? Is there something that you guys are gonna update? Like, is there, be able to see more in depth with the analytics, or can you give us a little hint?
Yeah, well, I can reveal
Yes.
that towards the end of this month, we'll be releasing a kind of targeting feature, which lets you choose which geographies, so which cities and countries you like feed to target, and which age range down the line, so not in the first update, but down the line, we'll have interest targeting and things like that. But the idea is you can tailor Feed's algorithms what you want. So, you log on and Feed will present you with your top cities and countries, and from those you can choose which you'd like to promote to. At the moment, it's focused in your home country for new audiences, and the retargeting audience is global. So that will be a feature that we're looking forward to rolling out. And I think we'll let you, for example, target LA, New York, London, and Berlin if you wanted to. And I think there's lots of interesting stuff beyond that. We've got some really, hopefully, great ideas about what we can do with pulling data from different places, and we can get smart about interest targeting and things like that. So yeah, that's the next big one.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm super excited. All right, Nick, I appreciate you jumping on. All right, guys, go check out Feed. There's no fee for it. It's fantastic. You can take my word for it. It's stress free, and it gives you just more time to do other things. I mean, this is not just for musicians. I feel like this could be for actors, painters and stuff. So I feel like this is even beyond musicians and stuff. So thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
What an amazing guy Nick is. I'm so glad to get him on the podcast and just elaborate more on Feed. For me, it was even I was even intrigued with the conversation because, we've been dabbling with Feed for about a month or so, and it was just great to kind of hear, him explain, in more detail about Feed. Because for me, it's important to know the ins and outs of something you invest in. You don't really want to throw your money out, like what he said, with these scam social media marketing, promotions. And so it was nice to kind of get the front face of him and just explain how important it is with the company and their strategy, and even the upcoming futures of it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Feed. I highly recommend it, guys. Go to try.feed.co and just sign up, man. It's so worth it. I'm telling you, it's gonna be stress relief. You're gonna be spending your money wisely when you're on there. It's an important platform for us musicians. I don't even think only musicians could be on there. I feel like all types of artists could be on there too, because anything you can diminish down of time, and so you can spend more of that time doing what you really love instead of doing something social media marketing. For me, I struggle. I seriously struggle with social media marketing. So when Tori, pitched me this platform, I was, to be honest, I was a little iffy, but then, she was like, let's just try it. So we tried it, and so far I have no regrets. It's been amazing experience. Just talking to the team, like just emailing back and forth with Nick, and it's awesome to kind of get the response of them letting you know, okay, this is what is happening. Like even with their blog, go check out their blog as well. I think it's going to be so much amazing information in there. So if you are skeptical, I think that those will answer your questions. And for me, I can vouch for them too, because it's been an amazing experience. I haven't had any issues. The only thing is just for me, sometimes you want to see everything, but I feel like the more the more kind of like could ruin you a little bit further. For me, I can compare with music. Sometimes when you know too much of the technical side of it, it kind of diminishes the creativeness. So I don't know. But it was a great podcast. I'm so happy, guys, that Nick got the chance to jump on and just talk about Feed. And that was pretty much it. But I have a new remix out called Fill Me In. Who original artist is Craig David. He's a fantastic singer. I came across this song years when I was a kid. It's like an old school R&B song back, I guess like 2000s. I don't know. It's so weird, like saying 2000s like the old school, but like that song I fucking grew up listening to. I love it so much. So for me, I had to like bring back the oldness to like the new style and revamp it and stuff. And I fucking love it, man. So go check it out. It's on SoundCloud. It's on Audio Mac. It's on pretty much everything. Go check it out. And that's pretty much it. Also, thank you guys so much for the messages, thank you so much for all the support of Hold Me. It's crazy. It's like 7,000 already. And I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you guys' feedback and just kind of, because for me, it kind of reassures me. It's like, okay, everything's going well. Okay, I am doing something right. I'm making good music, not just only for myself, but for other people. So I really appreciate that. And also, like, when I made the strip version of Hold Me, it was such a great experience, and also getting good feedback from you guys too, even wanting it on Spotify. So I might, honestly, I'm thinking about doing that for every track and just kind of like putting a new twist to them at the end, and just kind of changing up the original styles of music. You know what I mean? Why not have different versions and stuff? So thank you guys so much for everything, and hopefully you like the podcast. Let me know. Hit me on my Instagram, Facebook, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.